If you've been watching the past few videos, if you've been keeping up, if you're part of the 100% Watch Squad, you will have heard me mention, especially in the last couple of fishing videos, something that I've been testing that is truly the best on the market. So geeks, we talk a lot about rod reel line setup because fighting fish, landing fish, catching fish, the way a bait works a certain way really depends a whole lot on those three criteria. Now sure, you can go and you can tie a bait on anything with any line and you can probably go catch fish. Fish ain't that smart. You know, bass ain't that smart. But the thing of it is if you want to maximize your catchability, you want to maximize your time on the water, paying attention to those details help a lot. And I'm going to give you something. I preach this all the time. These guys are out of Tennessee, and I'm actually going to give you the ability, if you haven't tried it, to try pretty much every single product that this company sells for absolutely free. Let me talk about it a little bit. Now, what's great is every single month we do a BassGeek box. Now, most of the time it's brought to you by Tackle Warehouse. And I'll go ahead and say anything that you see in our videos that you want to try out is in the description below. We leave links all the time. This will be too. This is your BassGeek box for October. And we're going to do something a little bit different with it because I preach to you all about this particular product all the time. So I want to get it in your hands and I want to talk to you about a few things. And this company has dropped a brand new product that is amazing. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But if you don't care, in videos, if you see something that you like, or the next time that you're going to be shopping on Tackle Warehouse, make sure you do me a favor. Bookmark that link down there in the description, or scan that code that you see popping up right here and bookmark it on your mobile phone or device or your tablet or whatever. And the next time you're going to go shop at Tackle Warehouse, use that. Doesn't cost you a penny extra, but does help the channel. And we appreciate that. So what's in the box? We're going to be talking about one of my favorite companies, and that is K9 line. And I've got you a full box of every product, or dang near close to it, at least line wise, that they make. Geeks, I stress to you about trying K9 line constantly, and we're going to cover a bunch of their lines. So I'm going to show you what's in the box, and we're going to talk about how I use this, each and every one of their lines. And that's what makes them great. They're affordable, plus a 10% off discount that you can see right here for anybody that doesn't win the box. And they're versatile. They have a range of line that's going to help you, and they're budget friendly, geeks. I mean, you can't beat their prices for where they fall. We're going to talk a little bit about, you know, diameter, test weight, that sort of stuff. You really need to go check that out. But first off, let me talk to you about what you're going to get in the box first. This is the K9 line braid scissors. You see me using them all the time. They're a staple in my boat. I think I've got maybe 2 other pairs at the house, but I have had this pair for, I mean, you can kind of see how beat up it is. You know, a little beat up, and I've had it for quite a long time. So you're going to get a free pair of scissors. Now, we're going to jump right into the line. So K9, my buddy Kelly Albert, sent a ton of stuff for this box for you geeks to try out. For you geeks that like to night fish, this glows in the dark. So we'll talk a little bit more about the fluoro, okay? This is the fluoro. It's actually I'm going to call it a co-poly. I don't know if that's really kind of the right word, but it is a co-polymer. So the fluoro is a co-polymer. This is the high vis green. He sent 2 different versions. For you Crappie guys, this is 4-pound test, and that is a 550-yard spool that he's going to give you there. Now this is 14-pound test, and this is a 300-yard spool. What I love about this, he makes them in some great diameters. You can go to the website and check it out, but I'm going to show you on the high-vis green here, the glow-in-the-dark stuff on the back, what the diameters are. So now I'm going to talk to you about the two lines that I use. I won't even say the most, but like these are my two go-to leader lines. And this is the Fluoro. Again, this is a kind of a co-poly, and this is the Pro 100. This is a 100% fluorocarbon, and it's something that I use a lot in these clear lakes that I fish. But now don't misunderstand, this is super clear. It's just got a little different properties to it, and I'm going to explain those to you and why I use each one for different situations. Now we're going to start with the fluorocarbon, and check this out. He's sent you two different sizes. Again, another 550 spool of 17-pound test. So let's talk about the co-poly. Let's talk about the Fluoro, and here's another spool, 300 yards of 8-pound test. This is what I use on my spinning reels all the time. And for you guys that don't know, I'll be honest with you, like sometimes I will use, and for the longest time, I'll use a cast worth of this on my spinning reel. That's how low memory this is. Now, the Fluoro, while still extremely invisible, is a co-poly. So it's going to have a little more stretch than your Pro 100, your 100% fluorocarbon. When do I use this? I use this when I'm using horizontal moving baits. The great thing about it is it makes a great line to use for topwater because it is neutrally buoyant. It does not take on water at all. So it's not ever going to sink. Believe it or not, mono will take on a little bit of water. Braid will take on a little bit of water and it'll start to sink. Or mono's a little bit heavier and it'll take on water and start to sink. This will not. So you throw it out there, it sits there on the water, on the top of the water, or whatever depth level you want, it is going to sit there. This is great for things that have treble hooks. So if you're pulling baits away or you're ripping baits out, then this is what you want. It's going to give you a little forgiveness. It's going to allow you to set the hook and fight the fish correctly. Spinner baits, chatter baits. You know, I'm old enough to remember when everybody just used a good old medium heavy fast, a nice stiff rod for a spinner bait. Now, everybody's kind of gone away and the same sort of thing for, let's say, a chatter bait. Now everybody's kind of gone away from that, and what they use now is a little softer rod, so maybe a moderate fast. Well, put this on and it's going to give you that stretch and keep you from blowing that fish's mouth open or pulling it away from them as soon as you feel that immediate contact, which is what the fluorocarbon is going to give you. The fluorocarbon, the Pro 100, is going to give you that immediate feedback because it's very, very low stretch. This, on the other hand, you're getting that happy medium. So it's not going to be like a giant rubber band like most monos are. It's extremely durable, and you can do a lot of different things, from crankbaits to, like I said, spinner baits, chatter baits, my spy baits, my jerk baits. This is what I use. Now, you might wonder, well, we've heard you talk about using the 100% fluorocarbon on some of your jerk baits. Well, those, and the reason why I'll use that is because I want it to get down a little deeper. This is a sinking line. Fluorocarbon, 100% fluorocarbon is a sinking line. So if you need it to get down a little bit deeper, this is going to be the line for you. Incredibly invisible in the water, incredibly abrasion resistant, and the memory isn't bad either. Fluorocarbon's always going to have a little bit of memory. It's just fluorocarbon, especially 100%, but this is very good. So he's thrown in a 10-pound test. It's a 200 yards, a Pro 100. This is the line that I use 90% of the time. If it's 25-pound flipping, it's going to be the Pro 100 around wood. If it's, you know, ledge fishing and throwing a swim bait, it's going to be 17-pound test to 20-pound test. It's going to be, if I'm throwing a worm into some brush piles, it's going to be, you know, 17 to 20-pound test. You know, if I'm throwing a minnow and it's going to be deeper, it's going to be 8 to 10-pound test or even 6-pound test because I want that light line. Single hook baits most of the time, unless they run horizontally, that's when this is getting used for me. Something that I need the most feel that I can get, which means either a leader to braid, but I may not want the braid to float it and slow the fall down. This is the line I'm going to use, 100% fluorocarbon. And geeks, I'm going to show you this on the back again. I'm telling you, it falls between what I would call your lower end basic fluorocarbon and the higher end. If you look at this, I'll give you a company, Seaguar, the red label. This is very much better than the red label. But the diameter size is kind of closer to the Invisex size. So it's a nice small diameter line. So remember that if you're using this, you may want to go up. Like if I was using Invisex to throw a 1/2 ounce swim bait that's probably going to be 3/4 ounce or a little bit heavier out in 30 foot of water, I'm probably not going to want to use, you know, 15 pound. I'm probably going to use that 17, or I'm not going to use 12. I'm going to use 15. So whatever you're comfortable with, remember you might have to size up a little bit because these have such great line diameters. Extremely, you can see the pull tests where we've tested some baits, extremely invisible underwater. So something else in this box, which by the way, you geeks are going to win this box of line. So it is a heck of a deal. I don't know how much this is, but I can promise you it is over $50 worth of line. Now, something that I can tell you has won or been on the rods of almost every, I don't remember, he told me this, but it's like the, like 8 of the last 10 world champion crappie tournament winners has been this right here. This is a big deal in the crappie world. This is the 5-pound K9 crappie braid. So if you know anybody that's big into in the crappie world, you'll know this is a big deal. And he threw you some of it in also. So one more specialty line that K9 has is their flipping braid. Now what I love about this is it's already black, so you don't have to get the Sharpie out and keep going through it all the time. It's 9 strand. It's an extremely tight weave, so it's very smooth, very subtle, very thin. Now Kelly told me, he was talking about the diameter, that 60-pound braid, this 60-pound braid is the same diameter of most 45-pound braid out there. Now, like I said, you can go look this up and test this on your own. I'll show you right here. Here's the line diameter, but this is an incredibly good flipping braid, 9 strand, and we're really going to get into, as we move on to the other 2 casting braids, really going to talk about what makes it so good. Now, if you've been around the channel for a long time, you're going to hear me say this very phrase quite often, and that is K9 has the best casting braid on the market. And there's a few ways that I can prove this to you. He has 2 different types of braid. The 8 strand is an incredible braid, incredible smooth, incredible slick. It's an incredibly tight weave. It's something that I've used on my spinning reels, on my casting reels forever. But this is the 9 strand braid in 10-pound test. So the difference between the 2 braids again is the 9-pound is actually a smaller diameter. It's a tighter weave, and of course it's got one more strand in it, of course. But for example, I can look at the back of this and I can see 25-pound test is the same in the 9-strand diameter, 0.16 millimeters, as the 20-pound is in this. So the 10-pound is probably going to be really close to about the 5-pound test as opposed to this. Again, we can check that on the website to make sure. So it's a little bit smoother, a little bit stronger, and a lot smaller diameter than your 8-strand. The 8-strand is incredible. Use it all the time. But if you want something that's probably one of the best casting braids on the market, it is this right here. And as a matter of fact, we were talking about, or I was getting ready to tell you earlier, how I know that. So when it comes to braid, if you want to make sure you're getting the most castable, smoothest, roundest line that you can get, you want to be able to find out how many weaves, or I guess braids, there are per inch. Both of K9's braids already have 36 per square inch. That's already extremely high in the industry, if not one of the highest per inch weaves on the market. And that's what makes it so good, so smooth when it comes to casting. You're not getting that vibration coming through your lines. And you know, I talked about this a whole lot. I use the Fluoro, the co-poly, a lot on my A-rig rods. A lot of people talk about using braid, and one of the reasons I don't suggest braid is because braid is not very forgiving, where the co-poly has a little bit of stretch. If you're learning, probably not the best thing to use braid, because when you cast it, if you were to get a backlash, it's not going to be very forgiving. It's going to dig in. It's going to be bad. I've always said, and people are like, well, I don't understand why you use it. It's the clarity, or fluorocarbon and the clarity. Well, it's not as much the clarity as the sound that's coming through those guides. The sound that braid makes coming through those guides, that this one does not, but sound travels further through water than it does through the air. So that means as that line is going by a bass, he's going to hear it. It's going to get his attention quicker than the bait itself, or a good smooth co-poly, or a good smooth braid. So that's why I love and think they have one of the best casting braids on the market. 36 weaves per inch is insane. Go out there and check that against some of the other companies on the market. And I know a lot of you geeks don't care much for the pink line, but I'm telling you, the lakes I fish, especially in the spring, they can get that greenish yellow pollen on, and that high vis yellow can be hard to see when that happens. This is not. So if you're a line watcher, which you should be, this is the color you want to go to. Now, I got the white here. I've never tried that. I'm interested. So I may pick me up some and tie it on, especially when you're down in that 10-pound test range, because again, it's so stinking small as far as diameter goes. Now, I am really excited to show you this braid. This is a high-end JDM style braid that is probably, not even probably, this is the best stuff on the market. There's, as a matter of fact, when it comes to the weaves per inch, I'm just going to tell you right up front, no one comes close to this braid. It is extremely smooth. We've been using it, if you go back, the first time we used it, I think it might have been the first or second cast in the last fishing video that we did, you'll hear me go, this line cast a mile. And the reason why, I legitimately had to change. And I've got 10-pound test 9-strand on my spinning reel. And I put 14-pound test. This new line, 14-pound test, and it outcasts it by a mile. Tighter braid, different, I don't even know what to tell you as far as different material. The sound coming through, going out and coming through the line, it's dead quiet. It's like good smooth fluorocarbon. So you're not putting a lot of sound in the water. You're able to make longer casts with it. It's tighter weaves, but it is 52 weaves per inch. And that is insane in the industry. I've never heard of anything like it. I've never heard any company doing anything close to it. And that is K9's Silk Braid. This is one of the more incredible braids that I've ever used. It's extremely durable. It has a coating that keeps it from taking on a lot of water. High tensile strength, low diameter. Guys, this is 25-pound test. It is insane. Right now it just comes, I believe, in this high-vis green. So this comes in several different sizes. Again, I'll leave links in the description to be able to go straight and check this out. This is the best braid. It blows away any other braid on the market as far as weaves per inch. Like I said, 52. It's coated. It is perfectly round. Extremely small diameter. 8-strand. That is extremely tightly woven. The industry has never seen a 52 braid per inch braid on the market. Silk, the stuff that they use, I mean, you can hear right here how smooth this is coming through the guides on the line. Small baits, if you love BFS, this is the thing for you. The little karashi, you want to cast that twice as long as you've ever cast any other bait, this is the braid for you. The BFS stuff, this is the braid for you. I'm telling you, you need to go check this out. This is the Silk Braid, and you are one of the first people to get your hands on it out there. So I've had it for a few weeks now, for maybe a couple months, and it has blown me away. You guys know I love the forward-facing sonar. If you're using that and you want to be able to cast to them farther because they're getting used to us being out there and they're getting tougher to catch, you need to be able to make long casts. That's why I'm so excited about this. It will be on every single spinning, and I can promise you, every single bait caster that I own. We're not going to show you how to spool everything up right now. We've got a great video on both bait caster and spinning reels, and we'll share that at the end so that you can see how I like to do that. But if you want to be entered to win I don't even know how much this box is worth of K9 line, because it's incredible, geeks. It's why I use it all the time. They're out of Tennessee. That's what I love about them. And if you want to be entered to win this, just enter in the comment section below, hashtag K9 Silk. That's it. Hashtag K9 Silk. You'll get a chance to win this. And I'm extremely happy that we get to give this away. I'm extremely happy that I get to show you the K9 Silk, just because it's so smooth. It's probably one of the most innovative lines to come out in a long time. And anything in these clear waters that's going to make me cast and stay away from them, I'm going to catch bigger and I'm going to catch more bass with this. All right, geeks, so a short, sweet video on this. Really is important to learn the differences in the lines so that you understand which one is best for what style baits. That's always going to help you catch more bass. And it also helps that, again, we've got that 10% discount right here for K9. So you'll have a link. They're not on Tackle Warehouse yet. I'm going to try and reach out to my contacts on Tackle Warehouse. I really really think they're going to be interested in the silk braid. And geeks, just give them a try with the 10% discount. I promise you, if you watch this video and you pay attention to what line does what best, you are going to catch more and bigger bass. Now, remember, to be entered, hashtag K9 Silk. All one word, all together. Otherwise, you want to check out how to rig or line properly your rod and your reel, whether it be a spinning rod or a bait casting rod, and it'll save you a little bit of money. Go check out these two videos right here. Questions, comments in the comment section below. Remember, hashtag K9 Silk to be entered to win. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so you get the notifications. You can be part of the 100% Watch Squad. Help us get to 100,000 subscribers, and you geeks rock.